under 5.
Yeah. It's brand new to them. Yeah.
So that's what yours truly has been amusing himself with. And I'll carry on with that. So you know
Okay.
what I'm talking about. So
I
what's up
got.
with you? What's up?
What's up?
What's on
Hey,
your
well,
side?
first of all, I wanted to do a shout out to the SRQ Bike Boys,
Oh,
of which I'm kind of a fringe member, I guess. Uh, we volunteer at Salvation Army to fix up old bikes that the Salvation Army and other agencies then give to people that need them for commuting to work or whatever. And every year for Christmas, the Salvation Army gets donations, which they use to buy new bicycles. So this year we put together from the crates 477 bicycles for from little three wheelers to up to regular sized mountain bikes, and they are Salvation Army is delivering those or having those delivered to families as we speak. So it's a nice thing that the Bike Boys do in conjunction with Salvation Army. So shout out to all the Bike Boys.
and I applaud your effort to do that because you've probably built and rebuilt your own bikes at least 20 times. So
More.
you don't even have to read the instructions to put them
I
together,
don't.
do you?
Yeah, it's
Whether it's a
yeah.
three wheeler or a little 24-inch two wheeler, you just grab the parts, spread them out, and start assembling.
Well, the little three wheelers are the worst because they're just kind of just bizarre the way these things are made to fit together as
And
cleverly
not
as
not
possible.
expected, yeah, not expected to last all that long. So there you
Exactly.
go.
Yeah.
So
So
how's my question would be, congratulations for doing that, and you and the fellow volunteers. I think that's a noble thing to do. But how did the hands feel? How's the old all the arthritis in the hands? Anything?
well, it's still there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's,
Let's
you
see.
feel it? Yeah, they still.
You can't make
Oh
a
yeah,
fist, but that's all right.
yeah.
Uh, hey, something else here. We
Mm,
talked. I think it was last episode about the kindergartner who had a crush on you. Well, not in kindergarten, but one of our classmates who had a crush on you in high school, apparently. And she told us, and another a listener passed along her story, this other woman's story of how she
mm,
was locked in the closet in kindergarten,
mm.
and
I
which
recall.
kind of thought that was a traumatic experience. So we got this from a listener, another listener. So this is my kindergarten story. My parents, or not my parents or anyone else, had ever hit me. We were in story circle. Now, I presume this is like kindergarten or grade school. And I had on a stretchy belt, popular back then, and I unclasped it and redid it. Mrs. Barris, and then she's got in parentheses, bitch, capital letters, bitch, just ask anyone who had her, told me to take it off and put it in the cloakroom. As I passed her, she reached out and smacked my rear. To this day, I can remember how shocked I was that she hit me. So there's another trauma, another still burned in her memory there about being
That's
smacked by a
interesting that
teacher.
would come up. That's got to be many, many, many years ago. And I have very hardly any recollections of that period of my life because I mean I was either an angel or oblivious to it, or
uh,
expected.
uh, I know we have a comment on the football game. Okay,
hmm.
it says football game. Boo hoo! It was in the '60s. Or I was complaining. It was in the '60s. It was cold and windy. She says I went to a funny Christmas play last night at South Park. So this would be a Pittsburgh area person, which is a very small local theater, and it was in the low 20s, and the bathroom was outside through the parking lot into the next parking lot. Now, that takes courage there. That's
I, I can
you
relate. I
really got
can
to want to
relate.
sit on that cold toilet seat.
I can relate to that. The cold just doesn't cut it for me anymore. I really can't cope with it anymore. I have to
Yeah.
dress up with too many layers. I'm talking a lot of layers. My my wife says to me, why are you going out? You have six collared shirts on, look like an
Uh,
onion, look like an onion
uh,
or something. So, well, all the best to those folks. Tough
yeah,
it out.
yeah. Hey, look, speaking a little more on the old days,
Yeah.
when we were young, uh, with I put the $2 on Facebook, and if I remember, I actually upload our episodes, but also joined the local high school private Facebook group. Okay,
Hmm.
and I put stuff on there once in a while, and just on a lark yesterday. I wrote something prompted me to write a little story about. Yeah, it was a picture of the river. Okay, so I wrote a little story about, back when I don't know, sixth grade, we used to go fishing down at that little, we called it the island, that little piece of land that stuck out on West Side there by the bridge. We
Hmm.
used to fish there, and we'd get those. Wagner had the Wagner recaps. If you remember the Wagner recaps, they had a recapping business
Yeah.
there, and
Yeah.
they stored all those old recaps up there, the old tires, and we used to borrow a couple of them on the way to fishing, and then when it got dark and cold, we'd light them, and that would keep us warm.
I remember
Remember
that.
that? One one day, we lit the tires too soon, and it was still light out basically, and there was this thick
Oh,
black plume of smoke that just went down the river, kind of cruised through the main area of town. Pretty soon, Stanley, the cop, was there saying, "What's going on here? You got to stop that. You got to stop." He was real nice about it, but he said, "You can't be doing that." So we were early polluters, so we put the fire out, and I just posted this little story, and it's amazing the number of responses I got. Guys are saying, "Yeah, we did that too. I did
yeah.
that too. I did that 10 years later than you," and it was really cute. It was a lot of fun.
It seemed like a novel way to have a fire on the beach or on the little water.
Yeah,
Not
pulling
like it
those
wasn't. There's no
catfish.
beach. Yeah, it was because you couldn't get any wood. You weren't going to make a proper wood fire. This thing would burn
No,
bright and really
no,
hot for a while.
yeah. So that
But
was it.
if anybody can't picture that, just watch the national news. You'll see a
Yeah,
lot of those things being burned around the
yeah.
world. So that was us.
And somebody
What
said,
a
"Well,
polluter.
give us another story. Give us another story." So I wrote a story about. You remember the winter, the bridge, yeah, the bridge. The water used to freeze over from time to time in the winter when we had some really cold winters.
I remember.
Back before the climate changed so much, I guess. And so of course we'd go out in the middle of the river, out in the ice in the middle of the river, jump up and down, show how tough we were. And the one time we were doing this is we were coming back to shore, and I was the last one in line. I went through the ice, and but the good news was the water was only up to my waist at that point, and I kind of smashed the ice on my way, got close to shore there, and then Kenny and Buddy pulled me out, took me home. But yeah, that was another thrilling river experience back in the old days.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is probably what many people who managed to live into their 70s can tell
Somehow
you.
we got old anyway.
The one time that they did something foolish and somehow did not lose their life, because we did lose some folks in those days.
We
Remember,
did.
we
We
lost some.
did. Yeah.
Yeah, some folks be walking around the railroad track and not
We
hear the
lost,
train coming or
yeah,
something.
one of our
Yeah,
classmates was hit by a
crossing.
train. Yeah, that
Mhm.
was
So
terrible. That was
anyhow,
terrible.
we survived. We survived those stories by. That's it's almost, Dave, like saying that many times we used to go out on a climb a tree, go out on a branch, and cut the branch off behind us,
Yeah.
and hope nothing would happen.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh
well,
man. We'd get up in those trees up in the woods and see how much we could shake her. Let's see if this thing will break.
yeah, yeah. Well,
Anyway.
anyhow, that's what's been amusing. You've been writing a little bit and messing around uh, with the emails and internet, I guess. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.